Bernie Sanders has endorsed Marie Newman in Illinois' 3rd congressional district. Now, it seems like a weird thing for me to do a video on, but I will mention in a minute why I'm covering this. But first up, here's what Bernie said in his endorsement of Newman. Marie Newman has made it clear that she will be a champion for working families in Illinois, which is why I am proud to support her campaign. In Congress, Marie will fight for Medicare for all, a $15 an hour minimum wage, and providing workers with benefits such as paid sick leave while protecting Medicare and Social Security. She will defend women's rights, LGBT rights, and ensure immigrants have a safe path to citizenship. I am proud to stand with Marie and look forward to continuing to fight alongside her on these and other critical issues once she's elected to Congress. So Marie Newman is a Democratic candidate that is fighting for real issues like Medicare for all, a living wage, paid family leave, a path to citizenship for immigrants, LGBT rights, and fighting big money in politics. And she's also gotten a ton of endorsements from a lot of progressive groups like Justice Democrats, Our Revolution, Illinois and American Postal Workers Union, Planned Parenthood, Emily's List, National Nurses Union, and a whole hell of a lot more. So Marie Newman is clearly a progressive who is fighting for progressive issues, has the support of real progressive groups like Justice Democrats and Our Revolution. So she seems like the clear and obvious choice for any Democratic voter. But who does Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic minority leader in the House, who does she support in this primary? It's not Marie Newman. No, she supports Dan Lipinski, a Democratic congressman who opposes abortion and gay rights, and even voted against Obamacare. So this is unbelievable. But I guess you could say it's totally believable because it's Nancy Pelosi. But even for Nancy Pelosi, to endorse somebody who opposes abortion and gay rights and voted against Obamacare. So I'm going to get a little more into that part of it, but first I want to read this quote from Mother Jones. Illinois Democratic Representative Dan Lipinski's career is on life support. The 7-term congressman from the Chicago area who inherited his seat from his father is facing a formidable primary challenge from businesswoman Marie Newman, whose campaign has been fueled by progressive anger at Lipinski's opposition to reproductive rights, LGBT rights, and Obamacare. So, before we even get to the issues, he inherited this seat from his father. Automatically, I don't like the guy. And, you know, maybe I shouldn't be that way, but when you have that built-in advantage, you have to work harder to be able to earn that. So, for example, Bernie Sanders, his son is running for a seat. I think it's a state seat. I don't think it's a congressional seat. But regardless, I'm not just going to be like, yeah, Bernie's son, go for it. No, I'm going to look through his policy, see what he supports, see his history, what he's done. Just because you're the son of somebody that even I like, it doesn't mean that you should now automatically be the front runner in whatever race you're in. And I think people really need to get off this attachment to last names, because you shouldn't have a built-in advantage. You should be scrutinized even further because you've had that advantage of being somebody who earned their way, who got to where they are because they had to go through all the crap they had to get through to get there. And that builds character. But when you're the son of somebody who has led the way for you, you didn't have to go through the same fights that your father did. So when you see somebody like Lipinski, who not only did he inherit his seat from his father, but he also opposes reproductive rights, LGBT rights, and even voted against Obamacare, which is a right-wing solution to healthcare. It is a private insurance-based healthcare system. A public option would be in the center, and then Medicare for all, or a publicly funded healthcare system, would be a proper left position. He even voted against a right-wing Obamacare is right wing, is what I'm saying. So he even voted against that. Unbelievable. And this gets me to Nancy Pelosi. Why, Nancy? What is the Democratic Party for if you can't even support the social issues? So the Democratic Party for years has fought the progressive wing on economics, on issues like a living wage, or Medicare for all, or tuition-free college, or getting money out of politics. But they have always, at the very least, pushed issues like gay rights. And it's funny, as I'm saying that, I'm remembering that Hillary Clinton didn't support gay marriage until 2013. So not everybody in the Democratic Party has pushed those issues. But at some point, the Democratic Party has come around on certain issues, and it's usually only on those social issues. But even that, so if you're endorsing somebody, if Nancy Pelosi is endorsing somebody, as she is, who's against those things, she's essentially endorsing a conservative Republican that just happens to be a Democrat by name. What's the point? Isn't politics about winning battles on actual policy? So if you're going to support somebody who is just going to vote against Democratic policy and in turn support conservative policy and support the Republican Party, then what is the point of him being in the seat? Now, I would say that maybe it's because Nancy Pelosi feels like she has to endorse somebody who has the seat already. She has to endorse incumbents. She has to show that, she is with these politicians in Congress that have been with her. But that's not even the case. Lipinski has not been with Nancy Pelosi on not even just on issues, but in terms of actually voting. So this also from Mother Jones. After helping elect Pelosi Speaker of the House in 2009, Lipinski voted against her in 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2017. Notably, he was also a major impediment to Pelosi's top legislative accomplishment, the Affordable Care Act, and was one of the only few blue district Democrats to vote against the measure. So I kind of already went over this, but yeah, the Affordable Care Act part, he voted against that. And not only that, he voted against Pelosi. 2011, 2013, 2015, 2017. 4 times he voted against Nancy Pelosi. Yet here she is endorsing him. Pelosi needs to go. She needs to get out. This is not a leader. Nancy Pelosi is not a leader. And I'm saying that like I'm making a big statement, but I think everybody knows that already. So I don't know why she's still here. But another part of this I just wanted to touch on, because I was looking into Lipinski and seeing who gives him money. I noticed something kind of interesting. So when you look at his source of funds, you can see that the vast majority of his money comes from PAC contributions, 64%, with only 1.5% coming from small individual contributions. Now, this is something that, so a lot of people in Congress accept PAC money, but you can always tell when a congressman or congresswoman is with you when they have more small individual contributions than PAC contributions or large individual contributions. So for comparison, let's look at Keith Ellison, who's also in the House, and he's a congressman from Minnesota. The vast majority of his money comes from small individual contributions at 54%, with him only getting 5% in PAC contributions. So when looking at this, I think it's clear that Lipinski has no ground game, and that the vast majority of his money comes through special interests, through PAC contributions. as opposed to small or even large individual contributions. Now, this shows you that maybe this was the reason that Nancy Pelosi endorsed him. Maybe they have similar special interests that support them both. I don't know. That's just my speculation. But clearly Lipinski's strategy here is to get as much money as he can from special interests and then flood the airwaves, flood radio, TV with his name, with his commercials, and hope that that is enough to continue his run as a congressman. But at this point, I think it's clear that Marie Newman has the momentum behind her. So if you want to donate or volunteer with her campaign, go to marienewmanforcongress.com, and I'll have a link to that as well below the video. So help elect Marie Newman and get out Dan Lipinski and his weird endorsement from Nancy Pelosi. Hey, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon at patreon.com/therationalnational or therationalnational.com/join.